request Shri N.K. Padhi to kindly come on the dais and carry on with the first topic of the day.
Respected Director of the Institute, faculty members, my panelists on the dais, my dear friends, future business leaders of the country and maybe some other countries also. I just tell you something about the employment scenario. I was looking at the employment increase in employment over July 2012. In telecom sector, there has been this is the increase over July 12 to August 12. Telecom sector negative by 6%. BPO negative by 6%. IT negative by 2%. Construction industry recruitment is down by 13%. Insurance 2%. Pharma 4%. Only banking is the only sector that has given a positive recruitment increase of 13% over July. So banking is whatever we say. When I was a junior officer, I also felt that I would not be promoted. The banks had already there are too many banks. But banks are increasing. They will be increasing with financial inclusion and other things. With government's push to take banking into rural areas. Of course, you may not get to work in air-conditioned offices like that, but you will have, in banking, you will have employment opportunities, and the opportunities are limitless. I do not know what your views are about banking. Can somebody say that, how do you view banking? It's interesting, it's boring, or how do you feel it? Any of the... Interesting. Why do you find it interesting?
Because it is the backbone of the economy. Money.
Money you will be disappointed a bit. No public sector bank is, you get, as Mahatma Gandhi said, everybody has money for his need, his or her need, but not for the greed. Okay, so you will get enough money for a decent living, but you will not become a millionaire overnight. Okay. No, it's interesting. It's what I want to say is that it is what you make of it. If you want to make it interesting, it is interesting. If you think it is boring, it is boring. Okay. So it is what you make of any profession. What you make of it is. But I found it interesting. I have retired after I joined in 75, retired in 11. I found it interesting. Met so many people, so many interesting people, borrowers, colleagues. Saw so many interesting places which I would not have seen, and you have got an immense opportunity of job satisfaction, of what you can do to enrich the lives of others. So banking is interesting. And it will go on increasing. See, Mr. Padhi, who is the chairman of State Bank of India, he joined as a PO. He didn't join directly somewhere in step 3 or 4 or 5 or 6. He joined as a PO. So all of us, all of you who joined bank have got the opportunity to reach to the top. Regarding the MBA courses, yesterday only I saw, because after the economic downturn, there has been fall in job requirement and fall in MBA applications also. Recently I read, before 2 days only, that Fortune, there has been 1% drop in the applicants of new students. Fortune. There has been a 2 to 3% fall in Harvard. One of my colleagues, his son was, not colleagues, I know somebody, his son passed out from Harvard MBA in 2008. He was not finding an employment. He was not finding an employment. So do not have ideas that you will all join in very lucrative positions. Whatever position comes, whatever as POs, as credit analysts, as marketing officers, take that. Do not wait for some other job for a better job. I'll tell you why I am telling you that. And before that, I'll tell you about the recruitment process a bit. I think somebody was telling the various banks, various institutes will come to your institute around October for placement. I'll tell you in different banks have different processes. State Bank of India does not recruit permanent officers directly from the campuses. State Bank Group, so that is State Bank of India and associate banks. But as I understand, Andhra Bank and some other banks, they do recruit people from business schools and from IBS in particular. But State Bank of India State Bank Group takes credit analysts on a contract basis for 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. Similarly, they take agricultural people who work in rural areas for recovery and all that. POs they take on a regular basis. You must have read recently that the State Bank of India, State Bank Group is State Bank of India particularly. State Bank of India would be recruiting 20,000 people this year. 20,000. And I think somebody was telling me that State Bank of India has recruited around 15,000 people during the last 3 years. So if you do not get a regular employment through campus selection, don't bother at all. Don't bother. Apply for PO's test. Even if you do not get. If you do not get PO's, do not get placement in campus, do not bother. Every year they recruit as POs. Don't think that because you are an MBA, you have got a degree from a good institute, you will not join as a PO or you will not, this is beneath your dignity. Even if you join as clerks, you can become, you have the opportunity of becoming an officer within 4 to 5 years. So grab the opportunity, whatever comes. Do not sit idle. Do not sit, I would request you not to think that this job is suitable for you, this job is not suitable for you, and sit at home. I'll tell you what is the okay, for POs, State Bank of India, I'll say State Bank Group, they have first a written test. In written test, they have got an aptitude test. It's 3-4 papers at one sitting. One is aptitude, one is a paper for reasoning, another slightly descriptive in English. Because banks require generalists. They do not want any specialists because they have to work in rural areas, they have to work in corporate banking, they have to work in SME, they have to work in financial inclusion, etc. So banks usually look for generalists. So you can, therefore the examination pattern is like that. It is for aptitude test, for slightly descriptive in English, it will test your sense of reasoning, it will test your general knowledge. After you clear your written, then comes interview. Interview consists of 2 parts. One is a group discussion, another is the interview, oral interview, one-to-one interview. Group discussion, I do not know whether they teach you group discussions here. Do they have? How do you conduct the group discussions? Who selects the subjects and all that? You choose among yourselves? Okay, what happens in State Bank? Because last year I was part of the process where I was part of a panel which was recruiting POs. I'll tell you, some people give 2 minutes to each panel. On a particular subject, they give you 2-3 minutes to collect your thoughts, to think, to jot down your points, then they ask you to speak. And once one round is over, then if you have got any further points. Some people feel it otherwise. They feel that no, we will not give time to everybody. Let it be free for all. Let it be free for all. So there you have to put forth. If you wait for, if you go by that philosophy, pehle aap, then you will not succeed. You will be left behind. You have to slightly raise your voice or whatever you do to put forth your. But mostly they give opportunity to all of you. And if you are the lucky ones, you get the job. They put you in different places, 5-6 places to learn retail banking, to learn corporate banking, to learn treasury, to learn various things. And after 2 years, people get come. Okay, so that is the process, and that's why I was feeling that some people might feel that after degree, why should I go and work in a rural area? But even if you go to a rural area, you are not going to stay there forever. It's a part of the training, so that you become a rounded banker, all-round banker. Because bankers, from today, there are several instances, people who are posted abroad. In India also, in State Bank of India and many other banks, there are many branches abroad. You get an opportunity to go abroad and work. I have seen people working abroad in big finances, various corporate finances and all that, and straight away they are sent to rural branches. Rural branches which are so rural, so interior, that there may not be direct communication to that place. You might have to walk for 5 or 6 kilometers, or maybe you have to take an auto rickshaw or whatever. But then ultimately you come back again, and once, let me tell you, once you develop a reputation for hard work, for sincere work, sky is the limit in banks. Because all the chairmen, all these MDs in public sector banks are not directed, recruited lateral. They all go from the grassroots level. So the sky is the limit. And again, I'll tell you something that don't underestimate yourself. Nobody should underestimate saying that I am not from Ahmedabad, so I cannot go to the top or whatever. Okay, you have heard of Indra Nooyi? Yes. All of you? Yes, sir. Okay. She has passed out from Calcutta, but she was not the topper. She was not the topper. So it's a question of how you conduct yourself in the banks. And in banks, I think my panelists will attest, nothing matters more than your reputation. Nothing matters more than your reputation for sincerity, your reputation for hard work, your reputation to deliver. I tell people who work with me, I have been part of HR, I have told people several times that it is not necessary that you always deliver whatever is whatever is asked from you. It's always not possible. But one thing which I always look for people who work with me is a reporting system. If you are able to deliver something in time, nothing beats it. But if there is some chance that you are unable to deliver it, you have to tell it in advance. Even if it is done, you must inform that this is done. Otherwise, when the task is assigned to you, something remains in the mind. As I was telling you, I was part of the process of recruitment, and some of the things which I would like you to do in the interviews is I would request you to dress properly. Of course, now you are all in management institutes. I think you dress well. You need not dress flamboyantly, but dress properly, dress well. As as you might have seen, all the panelists are in very, very soberly dressed. Because in banks we require people who are pastel colors, soberly dressed. Okay, and these t-shirts, sports shoes, etc. are a bit put up. I do not know whether whenever you are facing your placement now, please don't wear sports shoes. That's strictly known. I hope all of you participate in debates and all that. Fluency is essential. Fluency is helpful. When you speak, if you hesitate too much, if you scratch your ears, scratch the back of your head, etc., it's better that you. And usually, in banks, what we ask, if you are joining a bank, what we ask is definitely your subject, a bit about your subject, something about current affairs. Suppose you are joining State Bank of India, you have gone to face the interview for State Bank Group, then they might ask you about State Bank Group a bit. If you plan to go to join Bank of Baroda, they expect you to learn a bit about Bank of Baroda, or PNB or Andhra Bank, or for that matter. And they might also ask you about your hobbies, and so it's better that. What you don't do, I have found some stock answers which what we do not want. I'll tell you what we do not want. Some of the answers were, we asked them what they had studied. They told their subject, and when we asked basic questions, they could not. Suppose somebody has read physics. We asked some basic questions about physics and then they couldn't answer. And when we said why you cannot answer, they said, sir, we studied it before 2 years. Forget your subject within 2 years. Or history or geography or whatever you have studied, or chemistry. You cannot forget it. Somebody, they have, what are you doing? We are preparing for exams. This is not an answer. This is not an acceptable answer that although I am qualified, I am sitting at home for the after studies for the last 3-4 years preparing for exams. That means you are not good for anything. If you have just passed out, it's fine. But if you are sitting at home for 2-3 years and saying that you are preparing, it's not a very positive answer. It's not a very positive answer. Because the same people who, when they said they were preparing for exams, we asked, what are you preparing? How are you preparing? They said, we are reading newspapers. Okay. You read newspapers. What is today's current topic? They won't answer. Okay, nothing, don't tell about today's news item. Tell something of importance that happened during the last 1 week. They were also not able to answer. Because they were giving false answers. Never give false answers in the interviews. Or because they do not study. They do not study but say that they are reading newspapers. Then some people had written in their hobbies reading books. We said, what book have you read? Chetan Bhagat. He is a popular writer. I have worked with him, writes well, very interesting reading. But when you ask which books, what is the content, they do not. We are surprised by the stock answers. Everybody. And later on, we were wondering why all of them are giving the similar type of answers. Then we asked, where from did you get these answers? They said Google. what is the prime function of Reserve Bank? Everybody gave the same answer because it is from Google. Google will give you the key only. You have to go deeper to have some real knowledge. To learn, there is no end to learning. Whether you are preparing for exams, whether you have joined an institute or whatever, there is no end to learning. Don't shut your mouth, shut your mind closed. Continue to learn. And I think because of I recently read something, so I just tell you two things. I'll ask you and then tell. What's the difference between a leader and a manager? Who will volunteer? Okay, because you want to tell, yeah.
Sir, a manager says, so basically manager says do it and the leader says let's do it. That is the basic difference between a leader and a manager, sir.
Thank you. I liked it and I would like to share it with you. That's why I wrote it down. It says three basic different leadership qualities are different. You cannot typecast a leader. But these three things that the article had written about is very interesting. It says a leader innovates. He finds a new way. Whereas a manager goes by the beaten track. This is the rule, you have to do this. He never asks how it can be done better or what should I do to contribute to make it better. He does it in a routine manner. But a leader is one who innovates. I expect all of you to develop leadership qualities. That's what I'm telling you. A leader takes the work by inspiring others. By inspiring others. He works in such a manner. He talks to the people like you said, let us do it, or builds a team. Whereas a manager, he takes the work by controlling. This is the rule, you must do this. You must come at 10 o'clock, leave at 5 o'clock. You must do this. Whether you work or not is another thing. But you must come, you must go by the rules. If you do this, I'll give you a good posting. Manager controls, whereas a leader inspires. The basic question of a leader, he asks, is what can be done to make things interesting? What can be done to make things better? Whereas a manager, a routine worker always asks, when should I finish this? How can this be done? He always looks for guidance. He looks for guidance from leaders, whereas a leader inspires and makes people think to find better ways to work. With this, I will wish you all the best. Your placement season is coming. I wish you festive season is continuing after Eid. Now Ganesh Chaturthi, then Navratri, Dasara will come, then Diwali would come, then Christmas would come. So in this festive season, I wish you all the best to your family. Get good placements and God bless you all. It's a general topic, so there was no slide or anything, but if you want to ask me, I'm here.
Good morning, sir. Sir, I would like to ask a question. Recently, the Reserve Bank of India called for a complete overhaul of human resource practices at public sector banks. Do you think that was right on the part of development, and that to be at such a later stage when half of the people are retiring in 7 to 8 years?
See, better late than never, no? You must have heard the phrase, better late than never. If it has not been done, that doesn't mean that it should not be done. And it's a continuous process. As I told, people will retire, but banks will go on increasing. So banks have to find people at the grassroots level, plus at a higher level. So unless this HR, as I was telling you, monetary package is not all that great. In public sector banks, at least monetary package is not all that great. And because it's like a pyramid, promotional opportunities are also not all that great. So for there should be some HR practice which makes the job interesting, which makes the job attractive. So if it had not been done earlier, better late than never. Okay. Thank you. All the best.
Thank you, sir, for your enriching words and your blessings.